Welcome. Welcome. We're about to go live and welcome new viewers. I'm going to give about 10 seconds before I get started and waiting for a couple of more people to come on board. But as you can see, in the meantime, I have the pieces already cut out so that we can do this together. So I'm going to cut some tulle and there we go. So here's the tulle, and this is for what Skipper has right here. So Skipper has the little dress. Well, this is the bottom part, and this is from an inspiration of a dress that I got years back, and I wanted to do a little bit of a showing. This is a Barbie dress, candy corn style, and this is a dress that I am going to be preparing to do. I went ahead from this lovely little ruffle dress that Blythe is modeling. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and I'm going to design it in candy corn style. So here are the pieces. So this is the bottom part right here, folded, and this is the top part. So the dress is made and sewn in the middle right over here on the top. But what I did is I readjusted. There's no reason why we should do any more sewing. So I went ahead and, let me see. So you can see it from right there. I took the concept and I'm just going to sew it and lined it up. So the lining is in the bottom. This is actual lining and cotton on the top. And here are my colors. Connected to the top is going to be white, and then we're going to have orange and then yellow. And I have another stripe of yellow here. So I'm going to sew it here on live. I'm also going to do the hem. So let's get started. Enough with the intro. This is not going to take long, but you never know. And I want to be sure to have as much visual here as possible. So I'm going to move my wonderful little Skipper. I'm going to move my wonderful Blythe, and they're here on the side. So I'm going to get started with this. Here is my sample of the skirt, and I did it on a fold, and these little lines that you see over here are just like a little orientation of where I'm going to be putting the sewing. And I am moving my things around. I moved my little area of where I put my pins because of my cats. So this is the bottom, and let me show you. When I do this, I went ahead and added just a little bit more on the bottom because I wanted to make sure that the measurement from here to here was equal as the end from here to here. And let me give you an idea. This right here is just about 3 inches, and the bottom ruffle is going to be there. So right now I have the like an orange colored bottom stitching, so I'm going to start with the orange one. And what I mean by getting started with the orange is that I'm going to do the little hem. So that is giving us plenty. So, oh, by the way, this is 1.5 inches. And I wrote on my notes, and I'll put it in here. Oh, let's go this way because there's a little bit more. See how I did it to the edge? There's a little bit more, little pizzazz there, a little lip on this end. So the top I have it white, and the bottom it's like a tan color. And I tested this with the material to make sure it's going to be good. The rest of the fabric, white under in the bottom, white thread is good. That's going to be okay for yellow. There's some gadgets that you can put here, but since this is a vintage machine, it didn't come with it. And I've just been doing this for so long that I can just put my finger in here. And I always try to have the same. Oh, here's the orange, as I said. It's a tan color, but it looks fine. So I always make sure to be careful. And here's the top, and it's just about perfect. So the length is the same from here to here. So there is one piece, and I'm going to start clearing this out. So let's do the other one, and then I'm going to change the bobbin so that I can do the hem on the rest. Alright. I always have to be mindful to get my big fingers out of the way, or my big hand. If you hear some noise, that's my fan that goes on and off. Alright. So that is that. Oh, yes, I need to do that. It doesn't matter what kind of thread, but might as well just do it now. This is on loose stitch on the top. And I might as well do it now. And then change the bottom bobbin. Okay, these are my ruffle pieces. So there is orange, and you can see them on the corner. So I could have done this before prior, but I have a lot of potential new people that want to start sewing. So that's why I started this way with this dress. It's basically very simple, and it comes out so beautiful. And this technique of ruffles, you can do it with any dress. And me showing that the hem or the bottom base of the dress is kind of curved is going to help somebody if they want to start sewing. You can do it straight, like a straight square, and I'll show you that before I sew the base dress, or the base skirt actually, or the skirt dress, of what that looks like. I think if somebody uses, somebody as a beginner uses a square, that's just fine. The only difference is that you're going to have to gather it on the top connection, the connection that goes with the blouse or the empire waist dress. Okay, so there is yellow. So here's the other one. So it's going to be 1 row white, 2 rows yellow, and 2 rows orange. And in between, I am probably going to have to Google what the candy corn looks like so that I can get the correct. I know white's at the top. Maybe I think maybe orange is at the bottom. Oh, I can leave it together. And here is my white one. So I'm going to do it from this side. I was working in the yard this morning, sweeping and moving dusty things, and I just kind of noticed that my nails are kind of dirty, so sorry about that. Alright, so now I will go ahead and do the sewing at the top, and I was actually sewing with loose stitch, and that's okay. And I will just go ahead and do this rather quickly. I have to be mindful to hold on to this so that I don't lose my thread on the needle. Putting the ruffles on a dress it looks beautiful, but it's a lot of, it does take planning, especially if you want your ruffles to be like at a nice even gather. And you leave plenty of thread when you cut it because you want to be able to hold on to it when you're going to pull and gather it together. So now that I have my little ruffles, and I'm going to stash it here, I'm going to sew this part, which is the little bodice part. And let me show you this part right here. And see how it goes in the back? So let's do this. Let me see. I'm taking a look at my nails here, kind of like cleaning them. I did do the dishes, but I don't know if I did the dishes before, because of course when you do the dishes you clean your nails. So I think I did the dishes before. It's just a little bit of dust that gathers underneath. So now, here we go. So I am going to, now that I have that there, and if you're new to my channel, I always talk about just using the edge as my ruler. That way it's always pretty close to it being like a mirror image from one item to the other. So see how I'm sewing it right along the edge here? That's my little ruler. And basically it's a guarantee that you're going to have equal sides. Not one is going to be bigger than the other. And see where it goes in and then out. Just want to be able to get it right there. Alright, that was kind of close here. Okay, it just looked kind of close. Want to make sure that there was something that was able to keep a hold on it on the other side. Okay, after this, excuse me, I am going to turn it inside out. I didn't bring my iron because my cat is sleeping and they are such busybodies. They come right in front. So there we go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clip it right here, and that's going to help it to give it a good form. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And it's a good thing to do it this way instead of just having very little. Just get your piece of fabric, and let me tell you how much that was. That was about 3 by 3.5. So if we have 3 inches, so 1.5. So what you do is you just get like a piece of, to make your own, is just fold your paper or just do your pattern at a fold, and go ahead and do like a little pyramid, but not so much like a pyramid right there. So there's this, and I am clipping it right at the fold. So this I made just, I went ahead and just designed it. I just went ahead and designed it, and it might be a little bit too long, and right over here from the strap, and I'll show you with Skipper. I'm going to use it with the Skipper body, not Skipper with the hair. And it is a little bit, it has more on like the waist, so that Rainbow High doll could use it, and Articulated Blythe can use it. So there we go. So now I'm going to start to fold this. And I have my little rod here. Where I am starting off. And I'm going to keep a hold of this because it is, it's not, it's open all the way through over there. So if I lose my grip, this thing is going to go in and out like that. So there we go. So I am going to sew it in place in order to help with the, to keep it down. There it is, and I'm going to open this up too. I could sew it in place over here, but I don't necessarily like to have a stitching, that much stitching on the bodice. I actually avoid it if I can. Okay, so let's get ourselves, okay, here's a Skipper. Let's sit her down so that we can use her. And one is bigger, slightly bigger than the other, so we're going to use this one. And it's kind of, can you see that I have it like at an angle? So and like I said, it's a little bit too much. I did it a little bit longer. And this is the dress part where it's going to attach. So in theory, it's going to be right here, and we're going to have, oh, it's a good thing that this lining is here so that you can see. I'm going to do a little clip here so that I know that this is the middle. And I did it long. You know how I told you it was 3 inches? So, and I mentioned that it was going to be, you know, long. So here we go. So I have more than enough room right here. See that? right there. And when I stitch it, it's going to be stitched right around there. So this part at the bottom here, I'm just going to cut that out. And same with the back. I have all this extra room. So you don't want to, when you're designing this, you don't want to do it too short. But in theory, this area right here is just about 2 inches. So I'm giving myself an extra inch, which you see right here. So that's one. Hopefully that was helpful. And now I am going to turn this one inside out. So let me give you a little skipper for you to see in the meantime. I buy these, well, I'm not buying any skippers, but when I was buying skipper, I always bought the ones with short hair because it's so easy, as you just saw, it's so easy to work with them with short hair. I don't want to have all that hair in the way. I would have been very messy right now. So what I'm doing right now is I went ahead and propped this in so that I can start turning it inside out. So I am not going to add this right now. This is going to go after I have all of the ruffles put in place. So believe it or not, we're halfway there. And the next thing to do is gather the ruffles. And I'm going to put the tool here on the bottom. So I will be able to show you how I did design the pattern so that there's like a little indentation or a little incline in the front. Okay, so this is, I'm going to cut this out because I have way more than I need. Anyways. So I'm going to put this here right in the back. And what I like to do is use my tool so that I can give this a very nice and clean little hem. So I'm going to pin this up here. Oh, it is so light. That's one of the things about tulle. Oh, I should have put it there. So it's so light that it just like, it's so slippery and light, I should say. All right, so now I held it in place. And you will see the little hem come before our eyes. And I am sewing so close to the edge because I have all this tulle that this right here, or actually this is going to help me. So you just saw that I was just hugging the edge. So now I'm going to cut this because I don't need it. And then I'm going to cut this part at the top. Alright, we don't need to be all the way inside, so this is what I do. I fold it, and I can sew it either way. So let's sew it from here. All right, there is a little bit of fighting there. Right as the curve is coming along. That was the top of my hand that is doing that, because I was just so close. So now that I have the hem, I don't need this anymore. So we're just going to go ahead and cut it. I'm going to leave some there. It should not fold over or fold out. So there. Now comes the fun part. And I am going to Google what a candy corn looks like. I want to get the right colors. So it looks like, let me see, I can't see, I have a little thumbnail. So orange is at the bottom. So we're going to do orange first. And I'm going to get the one that has the most, because we have more to cover here. So let's see which one is, okay, so this one has more. And now I'm going to gather this up. And when I gather, I try to move it towards the middle. Okay, so it's getting kind of tight. And now I'm going to go and gather from the other side. So don't be afraid to gather too much, because when we put this on the fabric, we are going to be adjusting this. All right, so I am going to put this here with the pin on the bottom, and we're going to start from the bottom up. So here is the where I start, and this right there. So it's about a 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to put the pin in here, but I'm going to do it just to hold it. See how it's like fussing around and not staying put? So I'm going to put pins in here just to keep it down, but then I'm going to take it out to adjust it. So that's all I'm doing right now. So this is the part where it's going to be lengthy when you're doing ruffles. So it looks like I have just about what I need. And I'm going to place it there. It's about a 1/4 of an inch. Hi Marna. We are making candy corn dress, a ruffled one. So we're basically in the hard part of adjusting this. So now that I pinned that down, the next thing to do is make sure that we have the equal amount of gather everywhere. So right over here, we're kind of lazy. We're kind of lazy right here on this side. Right here, we have way too much. And this is the middle. So this is the part where you use your judgment, and it has to be equal. So I am going to move this along that way. And see? And when you do this, it will make it, it will loosen it up. And that's why we're going to be using a lot of pins here. So that I'm going to move this a little bit to the side. And you will understand when you do your ruffles that getting this like really nice and even is going to be worth it. Alright, so I am satisfied how it's how the ruffles are separated, or how they are right now. So right here there's way too much. There's too tight, so I'm going to move it a little bit to the side, and there. So here comes the first, and I'm going to take that little, all this little pieces. I could have used a serger there, but it would have moved it. That's for sure, because the serger is a very big enough piece of metal where it just flattens it. So here we are. So now this is the moment of truth, and we're going to do the first row. And I am at a middle stitch, so it's semi-tight stitch that's going on right here. And when you are doing this, if you see that there is, like right here, there's a little bit of gather there, you can go ahead and adjust it as you're going along. And I'm taking a peek on the bottom to make sure that, let me see, I want some of this gather to come over here. There. When we're done, where I'm done, this is going to be such a cute little dress. And you're going to be noticing all that thread there. I didn't fuss with it because I know that once I'm done with this, I'm going to like semi-fold and clip it out. The ruffle that's going to be on top of this is basically going to help it from fraying. And I will do the serger at the very top where I connect the little strap. I'm going to connect that part. So this part is where I gave it some extra fabric, and here we go. I'm going to push this down. There we go. And here is our edge. Alright, so this is the part where I was saying it is beautiful to have ruffles, but it does take time, and if you want your ruffles to look nice like that, you have to cement it down with pins and make sure that you have an equal amount of gathering, so that you don't have too much gathering on the back or too much gathering on one side of the dress. You make it by design, actually, and having it gathered like I just did is exactly how you do it by design. So there is one. So now I'm going to do the other one, and this one is less material. And the reason why it's less... Oh, okay. Bye. And this is going to be less of a fuss because I have much less material. So I'm going to do this here. So I'm trying to do it a uniform gather here. And I'm guessing that this is how much material I'm going to need. I may need to loosen it up so that I could cover the dress base. Okay, so that's pretty uniform, as you can see right there. Always want to make sure that the back part or the raw sewing is facing the correct way. Alright, so now I am going to start propping this up. You want it to be on top of the other one. We have a total of 5, so about a 1/4 inch is good. So I'm going to do that right there. And when I'm putting this one down, I'm being mindful that I'm going to have about a 1/4 inch on this side. So now that I have this pinned in here, or that I'm pinning it, what you can do is, what I'm doing now is set it side by side and see if that's going to work out. And look at that, it is just perfect if you do it that way. Oh, do you see that mosquito? Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. I'm going to be fighting with the mosquito people. Oh man, I need to get it. It's been around my room, and I hate to think that it's getting bigger because it's biting me when I'm not looking. All right, so right over here I see like a gap. Did you see that mosquito? It has some nerve. So I need to loosen it up. So I'm going to do that now. And while I do that, I am going to make sure that the middle has the most beautiful view of gathering of the ruffle. And then not so much in the back because it's the back, but we're always looking at the front. So that looks pretty uniform, even though I'm going to be readjusting it. So there we go. It gets easier. It gets easier as you're doing more layers. Okay, so I'm basically ready, and I should have done it this way. So always remembering that I'm going to keep about a 1/4 of an inch, and that's going to guarantee, or basically guarantee, that we have enough. So I am going to be loosening this up. Oops. Let's do it again. There. And I need to loosen this up because it needs to cover that much here. All right, I think that's good. And actually this part right here has enough, it has enough fabric coverage. Let's see here. Isn't that so cute? Darling. And let's do the little sample again. Let's sample it. And there, we are right on target. So now I am going to sew this. And see how much easier it gets? Now I'm going to make sure that we had a good separating gather there. Now I'm paranoid that the mosquito's flying on my back. And the door is closed to my room. And so I know it's not a new one coming around. So there we go. There it is. Now we're going to do the cutting. And when you're doing this, be very careful not to cut the fabric or the backing. And it's okay that I have the little leftovers. I'm just going to blow on it like I just did and put it there. So now for the next layer, I'm going to move my pins there. And I'm going to take the one that is the longest because we are going smaller from more material going around to less material on the top. So let's see which one has less. Oh, they're just about the same, so it doesn't really matter. And this dress is going to be a one of a kind because these are the remnant last pieces of orange that I have, of this shade of orange, and this is my leftover. I'll show you, of my yellow. I made a Barbie dress of this, like a mod dress, and I made a Francie one, a matching one. It had very cute pleats in the front. It was a low waist dress for Barbie and Francie. So I made two of Barbie. I have one left, and Francie's got sold. I only had one. So I'm being mindful that the gather here is going to be enough. Okay. There's one, and I'm going to do the other one. And it's very rare that I guess how much gather is needed. You always can be readjusting it, moving it around, you know. But it is important for it to be semi-uniformed. Alright, so I'll put this to the side. It's a beautiful dress, but because it has 5 rows of ruffle, this is the time-consuming part. Alright, so now I'm going to start by looking that I have about 1/4 of an inch there. And I'm going to do the same over here to make sure that I have about 1/4 of an inch. And let's do the comparison. There we go. Just right on target. So now I'm going to guess. I have more than enough material, so I'm going to pull it in a little bit. Okay. I will be adjusting this. I want to make sure that I have beautiful ruffle gather here, and I need to gather the other side now. Okay, this is kind of tight, but all right, there we go. I'm going to put my pins, and then I'm going to do a visual to see how the gather looks. Always mindful that I want it to be 1/4 of an inch. And I'm basically eyeballing it. Just like I eyeballed the edges, I'm eyeballing it here. Um, if you're not, if your measuring is not good with your eyes, you can always use the ruler if you want to be precise. So I noticed that I have that gap right there. So I'm going to take this pin out and kind of like gently, there we go. There is a word for this other than perfection. But you know what? Your doll deserves it. The dolly deserves to have a beautiful dress. So see how I'm moving my finger around to make sure that we have just the perfect amount of gather here. So there we go. So this one is basically uniformed, and now I'm going to sew it. All right, it is coming along. Look how pretty it is. So let's clean this up. I don't have a ribbon to put in the middle, but I'm going to be looking for something after. So there it is. Now the next one. And always, did you just notice I was making sure that I was putting this part facing down, and I do need to gather it. So I'm eyeballing it, and I do need to gather it some more because we're going higher within the skirt, and we have less less room to cover with the ruffle. So I'm going to gather it a little bit more. Okay, so it might be too tight or too much of a close-up gather. And this one, I'm going to be a little bit more, like 3/4 of an inch, because we have one more color to come around. So let's see how I do with my guesstimating here. So it's going to be 3/4, and let's see how I do with my calculations, with my eye calculations. All right, let's do it. So there's that. I'm a little bit off on this side, so I need to go a little bit down. There, I guess that much. Now let's try this again. All right, we're right on the ball here. Where's that freaking mosquito? And the amount of lace here, I mean of gather or the ruffle, is just about right on the ball. So I am looking at it, and I want to, while I'm keeping the distance of what I need to cover, I'm holding it with all my fingers here to keep it in place and adjust the ruffles. So here. And I also have to make sure that I have the equal and same distance here. All right. I think this is good. So this is where I'm going to use my ruler to make sure that what I have here is enough for everything. So right here, I have 1 inch. You see that? Right here, I have to go a little bit higher. Okay, that's good. Okay, this needs to go a little bit higher. Okay, so yeah, just about the same as the other one. So I'm going to bring it a little bit higher there. And this part, a little bit higher too. So there we go. And since I'm going to start from this side, I am going to put a little bit of gather there. We have a little gap here. Okay, there. Okay, that is good. Notice all the thread on the side. We have so much thread there. This is the back. All this thread. I'm going to take care of this right now. Don't need it. And all of this here too. Doing a little bit of maintenance. Okay, now for the white one. So if you're going to be trying this, do not be discouraged if it takes you more than an hour. I would say usually 3 hours is a good typical time to do a doll's dress. I just know where to avoid the time lapse spent. Okay, I think that's good enough. So let's see here. All right, so I am going to put this there. That's my cat. She wants to come inside. And she is so strong. These Spink cats are so strong. She's going to definitely open the door. So she opened the door. Hold on 1 minute, okay? All right. Just went ahead and really closed the door. All right, I need a little bit more. Oh, and it's so tight, I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to have to wing it and do my own gather. So do it here. Oh, it's kind of twisty and turny, so let me see. Let me see here. So yeah, I'm going to fold it in the middle and guess that this is the middle and go a little bit higher here. And on this one, because it got tight, usually different fabrics do that. I'm going to have to make my own little gathering myself and make sure that this is flat. So this one's going to be right around there. I'm looking at the difference here. And so the gather is here, which is good. So not only am I making sure that this is, yeah, I need to move this a little bit more. Not only am I making sure that this is even here, I want to make sure that it's not crooked at the top. So that I have the right amount. I need to go higher here. And the right amount here. And that should do it. All right, so here we go. Alright, so this is the part where I'm going to be making my own little gather because it got stuck somehow. And here comes my kitty cat. She's in the window and she may want to, like, literally jump in front here. There is no... These little spink cat, they need like total and complete adoration and attention. I'm almost done here. And there is like a little, let's see, kind of got bent underneath here. The ruffle is underneath the, there we go. Get out. I think this is the part where it got stuck, where I couldn't continue to, there we go, to pull on it. Okay, there we go. My goodness. So this is going to be pressed down. And let me take care of this. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get rid of most of these pins. So what I'm going to be doing now is I am not going to need this. I saw something flying here. There it is. Oh, where is it? This is going to be known as a video where I'm trying to kill a mosquito. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to use a serger here, or maybe later. Definitely later. So right over here where I put on the back, and remember where I need to make sure that these are bigger on the bottom and this is smaller at the top. So it's going to be like this. So I'm going to hold this down with a pin. And I'm taking her down to my, my area here. So I'm going to pin this here just to give me an idea of where I need to be. Doesn't it look so cute? I mean, I love sewing, but let me tell you, the joy that I get when a creation is about to be made is just so wonderful. So I am pinning it here just to give me an idea where I need to be, and then when I have to sew it I'm going to adjust it. So there, I just need one, I don't need two. So this one I'm eyeballing, it's about one finger, right around here. So what I am going to do is make sure that I have about one finger left. I don't have any more pins. Here we go. And this is the part where I'm going to be connecting them. And see how I have it here? Oh, I took the other one out. Well, I am going to turn that one like so. It's not being pinned out like perfect. It's just turning it down. And I may be pressing on the ruffle there, but before I sew it, I am going to make sure that the ruffles are nicely in position, that I'm not going to like sew on it and lay it flat. Okay, now I am getting ready to sew this on, and I'm going to eyeball it to make sure I'm like in the middle here. So here are the ruffles. And what I'm looking at is to make sure that they are placed in the middle, which Let me see here. These are definitely placed in the middle, but these guys are not. So this one needs to be adjusted more here. And this one, I need to adjust the ruffle. So now we mean business here. So setting it in place now is going to guarantee that we're going to be really good once we flip it in the right position. So this is like our pre-sewing. Okay, so now I'm ready to sew. Very time consuming, but this is what happens when you do your own patterns. You don't have a pattern per se. Usually when you have a pattern, it tells you where to put the strap. And over here, just being careful of where to position the straps. And yes, you need a doll. You need a doll to model. And this right now, after I'm done here, I am going to try it on her, and then I am going to put it through the serger. So all this little messiness is going to go away, and always being mindful that the ruffles underneath are not being squished, which is like sewn flat. All right. So let's look at it. That's what we have here on the top. I may need to, I may sew this over with the serger because I have very little room here, but that's okay. So now I am going to sew this down because this is going to be put through the serger too. And I'm going to sew this part down. So I am moving try to get it like in a line, straight enough line. We are almost done. And I'm just cutting this so that my serger doesn't have to do too much cutting. Basically what it's going to be doing is doing the nice sewing seam here. So there we go, all this little mess here. I'll be right back. I am going to give you Blythe to look at in the meantime. Here is the inspiration dress, and my serger is going to be doing its little magic. I didn't think about what Blythe I'm going to dress this on, so I'm going to take a very quick look to see. I'm going to choose my Wednesday Addams doll. And I will press this down. And you see how she has a little bit of a sewing there? I'm going to do that right now. That's going to help to keep the That's going to help to keep the little ruffles down. So I am looking at it, and as I fold it down, all right, this is what it looks like at the moment. All right, so I'm gonna be pressing this down. I'm just being careful here. Oops. I see like a little flip fold here. All right, let's see what this came out like. All right, not bad. Super cute. I'm just looking at it and taking all the little things out, and I am going to sew it in the back. And I am going to get my little Wednesday Addams doll. It definitely needs to be ironed. Adorable, cute little dress. And let me get my doll here. I'm going to be making some messes here. It's been really hot in my room, so her one little lash keeps on coming down. I don't know what happens with her little wig cap, but I am going to dress her and trying to keep her in place here. I think I'm definitely going to put a rhinestone with a bow, because I love that dress because it has a little shiny item. So I'm almost done here. She looks darling. Oh my God, I'm in love with this little dress. Just give me a second. Just cleaning her up a little bit. And I'm going to pin the back. So this is live now. So when I sent this off as pre-recorded, I'm going to take this little wait time out. That little pull string keeps on getting in the way. Trying to get her to stay here. So cute. There we have it. There's little Blythe with her candy corn dress. And I want her to stay put. So right over here, I am going to be putting a little bow. I don't have one right now, but what do you think? Isn't this so darling? I do have a candy corn purse. Let me see if I can get it like really quick. Get her nice and ready for Halloween here. And I guess it's not going to make it. It's not going to make a debut. Here it is. I think it would be cute if I give it little eyes. What do you think? If I give it little Google eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. It is definitely time consuming, and it is definitely an act of love to be making this dress, but it is well worth it. It's just so adorable. Have a great day, and we will see you in the next live stream sewing for Blythe and Barbie Skipper 2. If you're not currently subscribed, please consider subscribing for live streams, doll sewing, and tutorials. I also have some videos of my Barbies periodically. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, a comment, and a share. Shares are helping my channel grow, and that's what I'm working on each moment of the day. Bye, everybody. I'll be doing a short video soon, and I'm thinking of if I can find some Google eyes, I'll give this little purse some Google eyes. So there it goes. Have a great one. Bye.